Welcome back to Supernaturally Speaking. We are on episode 7. I am Troy.
I'm Justin.
And today we have a guest with us. A couple, actually.
We got a full house tonight.
Very full. Our first guest is a good friend of ours, Lacey.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. I know this is going to be a very special episode for you. And then we also have Disney Mel with us today as well.
Hi, guys.
So this is going to be a very interesting one, but let's do a quick rundown on how our weekend went. It was a holiday weekend. So how trash did we get?
Well, I mean,
I know you were buzzing pretty good.
I was feeling pretty good most of the day, so yeah.
And Mel, how were you?
I didn't get drunk at all.
All right. Except for the fact that any beer is half your size. Lacey, what did you do for the Memorial Weekend?
I made pizzas.
You made? Oh, you had to work.
Of pizzas.
No.
Yes. I work at a pizzeria, so.
That is, you know what? I feel your pain. My last job, obviously, there were no such thing as holidays. Justin can, can speak to that. It's just that's a horrible feeling. I was really kind of hoping, like I thought about it the other day when we were talking about having you on as a guest, and I was like, I hope she doesn't have to work. You'd think that Memorial Day would be the day that everyone actually decides to barbecue, not buy food. That's like one of those. That's one of like 2 holidays I can think of off the top of my head that is synonymous with barbecue.
Yeah,
that
I think so.
4th of July.
4th of July. But man,
but pizza's easy
to
order. It's easy to order.
It is, but you were ruining lives by ordering these pizzas. Because then it's like, I guarantee you they weren't just pizzas. I'm sure somebody had some whacked out freaking special orders.
Oh yeah, definitely.
See?
Lots and lots of big orders, like pizza party, all day.
Oh, see, I'm not. See, I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. I spent my 3 years in the food industry. I can't do that anymore. I can't. It's because I'm sorry. I'm sorry to some of you out there who believe this. The customer is not always right.
Amen to that.
Okay, you can't bring me a 12-inch sandwich that you've eaten 3/4 of and say, "Hey, I asked for no onions on this," because my response would be, "Well, where's the rest of the sandwich, sir? I can't give you a new sandwich because you ate the first one." What? You made it wrong. Then why'd you keep eating it? Sorry, I had my Quiznos flashbacks. Yes, it was a Quiznos. You know where BK Subs is? Mm-hmm. Used to be there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's why, like, when I would go in there, I'd laugh because I'd see stuff that's still there from when I worked there. By far, oh my god.
Yep. I understand completely.
See? Now, I do have one question. I remember, because we had talked about this before, there was the competition for the dough tossing, I think it was. Did you ever do that?
I think it's going to be this summer. I'm not sure yet. Lucas and I are still deciding, so.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother and I. So
I think you guys should do it. I think.
Are you one of those like badass like pizza tossers?
I've been there before and watched her just. It's like second. She seriously does it like second nature. It's crazy.
I have done this for 3 years, so I just like.
Apparently, and I didn't know this until I heard this, that there's an actual was it a national competition?
It's just state.
State competition. Okay,
even
then.
Yeah.
That's still.
But I was
still crazy.
I was also trained by the state champion, so.
Oh, then you have to. It's almost like you're almost like by default. Yeah, you gotta be
hashtag make it national.
You did not just hashtag that, Justin. Oh God, why?
Put it in the comments below. Hashtag make it national.
He just reverted back to basics. Sorry, folks. Oh God. I swear I'm gonna get a taser. Next time you do that, I'm gonna tase you back to reality. Oh, that's bad. Oh.
So Lacey, you have a YouTube channel as well.
Right? Oh yes. I actually have a channel on YouTube called Lendermations. I do speed drawings and we're going to start doing a mini-series hopefully soon, so if you'd like, go ahead and check out my channel, Lendermations.
Nice.
Highly recommended. I've actually commissioned some drawings from her. Yeah. Very, very good. Very professional.
thanks.
Fantastic work. She's got an amazing imagination for that stuff, so trust me. And I've seen one of her videos. I haven't had a chance to look at the other ones, and it was the Jack Skellington and Sally, and that was an excellent drawing.
Oh, thank you.
Excellent. So I highly recommend checking it out. So
thanks.
So tonight's topics, we will have, of course, our Disney spotlight.
Of course.
Tonight's topics, for those of you being very curious about it, possessed dolls. I know everybody loves those, and I won't lie. Justin and I kind of talked about, we chose this because this happens to be one of the things Lacey's not a big fan of. So we had to be the jerks about it and just, reach deep down and grab it.
So can I say face your fears? It's all good.
That's true. That is true. See, though I'm afraid, like, glancing over some of this, that I know you do know some of this stuff, but I'm afraid you may never look at a doll the same after any of this, even still.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, you know what? I'm gonna let Justin start us off tonight.
All right, so we're gonna start off with an article that I found from the lineup, written by Chrissy Stockton. It is 7 famously haunted dolls that ruin lives.
And that sounds like 7 too many.
I'm pretty sure most of these are what they base a lot of the horror films off of. So the first one is going to be Annabelle. I think that's one of the most well-known ones.
Yeah.
From The Conjuring, shine the spotlight on my favorite creepy couple, Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were paranormal investigators who investigated cases like the Amityville haunting and the case that became the haunting in Connecticut. To this day, artifacts from their work are viewable at the Warrens Occult Museum. The crown jewel of this collection is the Annabelle Doll. The Annabelle Doll was given to a girl named Donna by her mother in 1970. Wow, that's not even that old.
Yeah, but it's still 70s all kind of... You'd think that maybe from the 70s, maybe it was a drug-induced something, but with Annabelle, I've read about her, and that does not sound like drug-induced anything.
Donna and her roommate, Angie, noticed the doll would switch positions or move around the apartment when they weren't looking. Eventually, they began finding messages on parchment paper like, "Help me," even though they did not keep parchment paper in the apartment. They brought in a medium who concluded the doll was possessed by the ghost of a girl who was buried underneath the apartment. The increased. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Annabelle was found with a red substance coming out of her hands, moving around more, and as their friend Lou remembers, Lou awoke one night from a deep sleep and in panic. Once again, he had a reoccurring bad dream. Only this time, somehow, something seemed different. It was as though he was awake but couldn't move. He looked around the room but couldn't discern anything out of the ordinary, and then it happened. Looking down toward his feet, he saw the doll, Annabelle. It began to slowly glide up his leg, moved over his chest, and then stopped. Within seconds, the doll was strangling him. Sorry. Sorry.
Wow, so sensitive to the subject, Justin.
I'm just picturing it. That's
Maybe
all.
It was a bad dream.
Like, is Lou like... I think of Lou, and I think of from Rescue Me, and he's this really big dude.
Oh my God.
I just think this doll is like struggling to get over his belly.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
All right. Sorry. Paralyzed and gasping for breath, Lou, at the point of asphyxiation, blacked out. Lou awoke the next morning, certain it wasn't a dream. Lou was determined to rid himself of that doll and the spirit that possessed it. He, however, would have one more terrifying experience with Annabelle. Preparing for a road trip the next day, Lou and Angie were reading over maps alone in her apartment. The apartment seemed eerily quiet. Suddenly, rustling sounds coming from Donna's room aroused fear that somebody had possibly broken into the apartment. Lou, determined to figure out who or what it was, quietly made his way to the bedroom door. He waited for the noises to stop before entering and turning on the light. The room was empty except for Annabelle, whom was tossed on the floor in the corner. Lou scoured the room for forced entry, but nothing was out of place. But as he got close to the doll, he got the distinct impression that somebody was behind him. Spinning around, he was quick to realize that nobody else was there. Then, in a flash, he found himself grabbing for his chest, doubled over, cut and bleeding. His shirt was stained with blood, and upon opening his shirt, there on his chest was what looked to be 7 distinct claw marks, 3 vertical and 4 horizontal. All were hot like burns. These scratches healed almost immediately. Half gone the next day, fully gone by day 2. To this day, Annabelle lives in the occult museum. Her locked case is holy water encrusted.
Okay, so first of all, what the fuck? Secondly, and I've read up on Annabelle. Annabelle's creepy as shit. How retarded is Lou to walk in the room after having the supposed event the night before and still looking to make sure nobody broke in? I'd be looking at that doll and be like, you little bitch. I'd be drop kicking her out the door. Just, boom!
Just punt it. And then she'd appear right behind you again. It's like
well,
that,
and if I remember correctly, like the movie, that the doll in the movie looks like almost like a porcelain doll.
Oh.
If I remember correctly from the movie. But the actual doll looks more closely to like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah. It is a Raggedy Ann doll.
It is a Raggedy Ann doll? Oh, that's even creepier because Raggedy Anns are pretty common, and that's just.
I love Raggedy Ann.
But here's the other thing you gotta remember.
She's a little redheaded doll. Of course, I loved her.
Okay, I love redheads too, but no.
Fair story.
Well, see, the biggest fear that should be taken out of this right now is that if Raggedy Ann is Annabelle and they've got her locked up, where's her partner in crime, Raggedy Andy, and who's possessed him? Okay. Chucky. There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Yep.
And also a redhead. Yeah. Holy shit. Are you sure you're just not an oversized doll?
It's actually just Nick and I.
No.
We this is what we do in our spare time when y'all are at work. Yeah.
The truth comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You can take that up to him when you get home.
I could totally see, like, I could see why you were laughing, Justin, because I picture, again, with the Raggedy Ann picture in my head, climbing over and just suddenly just standing there and just choking him out. It's just like...
With his little fluffy hands.
With his soft hands.
Is Raggedy Ann gonna have to choke a bitch?
And you know what? I'll bet you what, because her hands were so soft, I don't think she was choking him. I think she probably just took one hand and just started shoving it down his throat. Just to choke him out. But yeah, that's still... But the thing is, what's crazy about it is... You know, like we talked about in past episodes, like somebody's belief about something so much that they not only have the doll locked up, like legit locked, but they've got holy water encrusting the entire thing. Which begs the question, why do that is there really, like, I would have liked to have seen something maybe from the Warrens about why they're even leaving the doll as it is, as opposed to trying to, like, exorcise it or something.
I don't know. Well, and then also you gotta think about, the medium said that it was from somebody buried underneath the house.
True, and and then the follow-up question for something like that was, if it's a child that was buried, because she said it was a little girl, if I remember, what kind of a child is this that is doing evil shit like this?
I don't think it's a child. I think it's a demon.
I think it's a little person.
And that's where I would.
I do not think it's a cute little kid,
and I would venture to agree with you, Lacey, because again, when demons are trying to trick you, they typically take on the visage of a child because everybody wants to help a kid who's lost or whatever.
And it would explain the claw marks, because usually if it's demonic, especially if it's 3 claw marks...
Now see, and that's what threw me off with the 7. I was surprised with the 7. Now the 3, I would get. 7's, that's odd. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if there's a reference to that.
Unless there's 4 on the feet and 3 on the hands.
Maybe,
like
but what kind of a Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Bruce Lee fucking
well,
shit?
It said they were going horizontal and vertical.
That's yeah. I don't think Annabelle's fucking martial arts trained.
At least she tries.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to, you know what though? Hey, it's hard to claw with them mitten hands. You know, it's just difficult. Oh Lord, have mercy. Still, if I had a doll in the house that was just randomly moving, first thing I'd do is, if I was living with somebody, I'd beat the shit out of that person just to get the truth out of them and make sure they weren't moving it. And if I was satisfied with my response that they were not, that doll would be gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't care. You're not staying. You're going away.
My stepdad played an awful trick on us, and we had those little babies that were like interactive.
Oh God!
And it had like a little like heart thing on the in its chest, and like it would cry and like do all of that. And so finally it would just like come on in the middle of the night, so we're sure the batteries were like going dead, and so we threw it away. And then what we didn't know was we woke up. So we wake up in the morning, we coming down the stairs, and the little doll is on the stairs. And we have an alarm system, so we're like, what the fuck?
Why didn't it set off the alarm?
Yeah. What the fuck? And then, come to find out later that my stepdad put it back in the staircase, but just like...
Did he purposely put it there to freak you guys out? Okay,
yeah,
so he purposely was setting up I can't say that I wouldn't be tempted to do the same.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, alright, what else we got as far as creepy dolls in the world?
This next one is Robert the Haunted Doll, real original. Robert was... So, this doll is like... The face almost looks like it's paper mache, and he's in a sailor's outfit.
Yeah, that's creepy just in and of itself.
Yeah. Okay. So, Robert was given to artist Robert Eugene Otto in 1906 by an unhappy servant who practiced black magic.
Oh, Jesus.
Throughout his childhood, Otto's parents heard him playing with and conversing with the doll. So Otto was a kid?
It sounds like it, yeah.
Okay. All right. Assuming he was replying to himself in a disguised voice, Robert is considered one of the most haunted objects in the world. Neighbors claim to have seen the doll moving from window to window when the family was out. Sometimes the doll would emit a terrifying giggle, and the Otto family caught glimpses of it running from room to room.
Holy shit.
In the night, Eugene would scream, and when his parents ran to the room, they would find furniture knocked over and Eugene in bed, looking incredibly scared, telling them that Robert did it. In addition, guests claim to have seen Robert's expression change before their eyes, and he often blinked. Fuck that.
Yeah.
When Eugene died in 1974, the doll was left in the attic until the house was bought again. The new family included a 10-year-old girl who became Robert's new owner.
Oh, God.
It was not long before the girl began screaming out in the night, claiming that Robert moved about the room and even attempted to attack her on multiple occasions. More than 30 years later, she still tells interviewers that the doll was alive and wanted to kill her.
Man, these dolls are like out to get people, like physically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the minute he said black magic, I was like, oh, and of course it's a servant.
Yeah.
Servant. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's already bad news because you don't know what you're putting in there. As much as you want to think you know what you're putting in there, you don't know what you're attaching to that. And I think that is creepy as shit to be a neighbor, to be sitting there and just see this little doll I could just see this little doll like moving from window to window, and then all of a sudden look at the neighbor and then just go, and then go back to jumping around. And the hysterical.
I'd probably be less creeped out if it decided to flip me off.
You're like, oh my god, that doll, that little son of a bitch. I think what would creep me out the most with any doll is the giggling.
Yeah.
Is the giggling, and then I think what would make it even worse is like to hear the giggle, like a combination of the giggling and the running from room to room. Because now you're trying to find it out. It's a sadistic
Can you hear it
giggle.
running? The little...
Yeah, the little... That's even worse. Well, it depends. You know, if his feet are paper mache, then probably. But if he's got the little cotton feet,
or the porcelain feet.
Yeah.
Like all of your mom's
thing
dolls in her house.
See, with the porcelain ones, that's when you just kick
Yeah.
them the minute you see them and just shatter those things.
Finally got rid of some of them.
This is
just shatter.
Yeah. But then again, you'd probably end up with some situation like the Puppet Master movies, where like you kick the head of a porcelain doll and just blood and brains come out, and you're like, what? The fuck? Dude, you ever seen those?
No.
Old school horror movies. Oh, creepy. Have you heard? You haven't even heard of it?
I mean, no, I haven't.
Oh, you have to. Oh.
I've at least heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It's been so long, but there was. Oh my god, it is a creepy.
Maybe we
movie.
should do a review on it.
We might have to.
know.
We might have to. That is bad. So, all right. What's the next one?
Oh, this is a short one. Sweet. Number 3. This painting of a boy and his creepy doll friend. That damn doll is almost as big as him. Look at that.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've seen that.
Does it have eyes? Or no? It doesn't look like it has eyes.
The boy looks just as creepy as the doll.
Yeah. Well, it is.
Maybe they share
They're
eyes.
meant for each other.
Yeah.
I know. That's this one's the doll.
Apparently, there's confusion on which one's the doll and which one's the
I mean,
kid.
I can see it. The dude's got a like 6 head. He's already got a receding hairline.
It's because he's friends with that fucking doll.
Probably.
That doll scares the shit out of him. Dude, that doll is standing next to him like a freaking an anal wife who's losing
Yeah,
his
exactly.
shit. Like he's got like battered husband syndrome. He's just like, yes, yes.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's a total Tina moment.
No, Tina from Bob's Burgers.
All right, what's up with this doll? 'Cause that doll does look creepy as hell.
Let's see. Haunted dolls don't even have to be a 3-dimensional object to cause terror in the life of its owner. The painting, The Hands Resist Him, is said to come with a terrifying history.
Okay, so it's not an actual doll. It's a
No,
painting
it's
of
a
doll.
painting of... Oh, there's hands on... Oh, what? There's hands on the windows.
Yeah, there is. If you see in the background, there is hands.
Ah! No wonder that kid's losing his hair! Ah!
Creepy shit.
Wait. Oh, okay. It looked like the doll was holding a gun for a second. She was like, wait, what the hell is going on in this picture? Look, like the way, like, whatever she's holding, and then, like, the window sill or the window frame almost looks like she was holding, like, a gun for a second. Like, bitch, you better stand there. Don't move. Don't move.
And
Dude,
unfortunately...
that's creepy. And what's the name of the painting?
The name of the painting is The Hands Resist Him. And that's why I was like, hands? Like, the hell? Maybe he's got a hunger for...
That's not creepy at all.
I know. Get a little handsy, little rosy palms there, or what? Oh, Jesus.
Let's see. According to the couple, the figures in the painting moved around at night, sometimes disappearing from the canvas entirely. The boy in the painting was said to actually enter the room where the painting hung, and everyone who viewed the painting reported feeling sick and weak. Small children would take one look at the painting and run from the room screaming. Adults sometimes felt like unseen hands were grabbing them, and others said they felt a blast of hot air as if they had opened an oven.
Well, that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
I think what would creep me out the most about that picture wouldn't even be that, like, the kid walks into the room. I think it would be, like, every time I looked at the painting, like, the hands in the window were, like, in different places.
Yeah.
Like, almost like some of them had pulled away from the window and new ones came up in a different... I don't know. And seeing that reminds me of freaking the video game Resident Evil 2, where you walk too close to this one, the boarded up doors, and all of a sudden the arms come out and try and grab you.
That game scared the crap out of me.
Hell yeah. Oh, it's terrifying.
Trying to get me to play hockey tonight. That ain't gonna happen. Anyway, so this one, there's a video to it, but I'm not even gonna play it. But there's a short description. Okay. Number 4 is Mandy. Mandy was a doll that cries in the middle of the night and leaves windows open. Her turn-of-the-century family eventually gave her to a museum to stop the terror. Now she makes the museum staff's lunches disappear or walks around and frightens people with her footsteps.
No lunch for you today.
What the hell?
Wait,
you're fat, bitch. You don't need any food here. This looks good. That looks good.
I don't know where the rest of them are.
You know what? I'll tell you right now, I really didn't think anything would creep me out more than the giggling, but I can honestly say that right there, I think the crying would actually do it to me more. Yeah. Because all I think, and the thing is, and this is just me being a gamer, but all I picture is like in that situation, and people have used this particular like crying sound. If you've ever played Left 4 Dead, the witch. Though if you like, I'll play it for you later.
Yeah.
But it's like, so you've played it. I can see the look in her. Yeah. That crying sound, especially when you roll into a room and you can't see it, but you hear it crying somewhere. It's a very unsettling crying.
Actually, my husband had that for his ringtone, and it would go off in the middle of the night, and I'd be like, "Why? Why do you have that on your screen?"
I can't say anything because for a while, I had that as my text message in like alarm. Like when I got a text, you would just start hearing the crying. Like,
oh God.
Like, Justin, keep going. I'll see if I can pull it up. That way, our listeners can actually hear what it sounds like too.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the rest of this. It sent me to another link, so.
Oh, did it? Gotta love it when they do that crap.
Yep.
Click to the next page.
Huh. They've even got it up on here. Alright, so let's make sure my volume's up all the way. So this is what the actual witch sounds like when it's crying on the game. Hopefully this is an actual
advertisement.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on.
And this is what you would hear
in the game. And she's literally like in the picture, it shows her kind of kneeling over and she's like sitting there sobbing. The problem is if you get too close to her or you make noise, she looks up at you and starts growling. And the closer you get her, the more noise. Or if you hit her with your flashlight, she starts like she keeps growling louder, and then she starts kind of screaming. And the thing is like anybody who's played Left 4 Dead, it's a zombie game. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the special effects, and in fact, I think by far the worst one in my opinion, because she will, if you startle her, she will go after whoever startled her, and she's got claws that are like damn near a foot long, and if she hits you once, you pretty much get knocked down and you're almost dead, and then she starts literally tearing you apart. Yeah, so all you see is when you look on the screen is you see her over you just tearing you up. But it's like, the thing is there's only two ways to tell when there's one nearby. The crying, and there's like a red light aura around her, so if you kind of see like in a dark corner like a little bit of red coming out. And the problem is I don't know how many times I've heard the crying, so I turn off my flashlight and I'm moving real slow trying to find her, and little do I know as I come out from this hallway, she's right here to my left around the corner, and I startle her. Yeah. And what's worse is in the second game, because in the first game, they're stationary. They're in one spot, not the same spot, but like when you come across them, they just sit there until you startle them. In the second game, some of them wander around. So now, they could literally kind of chase you in a sense. But that crying just, that crying makes me very uncomfortable. And I was dumb enough for a while, like I said, to actually use it as my text message ringtone. Any luck with those?
No, but the last one, which was number 7, it's not just talking about one. It's the haunted doll you can you could bring into your own home. So,
Who would? Okay.
eBay is filled with people buying and selling haunted dolls. Here are a few hundred you can bid on right now. It's just a link. There are accounts of people who have bought multiple haunted dolls, trying to find one that is legitimately active. Some haunted eBay dolls have become famous in their own right, like Harold. But if you're like me, or if you've read the Annabelle account above, you're going to let these dolls and all others stay the hell away from you.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
See, and that's the tough part about eBay, because I remember reading a story a while ago where some college kids sold a monkey suit filled with rotting meat to a professional Bigfoot hunter. Who, here's the worst part, based on the pictures, authenticated it as a real Sasquatch. And I'm just like, you know how much he paid for it? If I remember correctly, he paid $10,000.
Oh, shit. What a mess.
So this is why when I hear eBay come up or anything like this, I pretty much just sit back and I wait for the laughs, because I don't take any of the eBay.
Well, it's just like that
serious.
box, remember?
That's true, and you know what though? Here's the thing about the Dybbuk box. Yeah, it went up on eBay, but every person who's owned it has turned around and put it back up there with similar issues. Okay? So a lot of these dolls, I mean, and that's the thing, there was just one of those boxes. And then the last person who owned it was so scared of it that he locked it back up and hid it from everybody and wouldn't tell anybody where it was. So, hopefully. So
Indiana Jones will find it or something.
I don't even know if he wants to find it. Right? So, sticking with this, like for those of you who are either seriously freaked out or have always been freaked out by dolls, and perhaps you didn't know this, but there is, Lacey being one of them, and I know Lacey knew about this one, there is an island of the dolls, not too far from us, in fact. If you really look at the grand scheme, a little south of the border. South of Mexico City, there is the island of the dolls, or, get ready to laugh, because I'm going to try and say its Spanish name, Isla de las Muñecas?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh,
Better than Chili Rihanna, right?
Yes.
Better than Chili Rihanna?
Literally.
Oh my goodness.
So apparently, the first time I ever said that, he thought I said Rihanna, and I'm like, no, isn't it Rihanna? And then he sends me a meme of the dish with a picture of Rihanna's face and right on it. So that was thoroughly disturbing.
God.
How do you
Anyway,
actually say that? Chili Reno.
yeah, it's Rihanna. Or,
Whatever.
Yes. I don't want to say Rilano, because I couldn't be any
L's in
lighter.
the word.
Rolano.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Rayeno. Yeah. Rayeno.
Okay. So, there is an island south of Mexico City between the canals,
One Mexican word and another Mexican word.
Xochimilco. You can find a small island. Okay, look.
So the last couple episodes, he's like throwing out like Russian names and whatever.
You know what? I deserve some goddamn respect for busting my ass to try and get these words through. These are hard words, goddamn. The one that the thing is, I'm Polish. I can pull off Russian names fairly well. It's the Mexican or the Hispanic or Latino, all those ones that kill. Okay, you tell me, it's Xochimilco.
I believe that's just a random arrangement of letters put together.
Second sentence in, what is it?
You're asking him to read
Yeah.
it.
Oh my god.
It's
He thought a bag of tilapia loins said jalapeno lions. He thought, what is that bag of jalapeno lions?
That's just his dyslexia
And
kicking
I'm
in.
like, so tilapia loins? Like, I see the jalapeno lions.
let's ask Google. Go ahead.
Let's
Keep
ask
reading.
All right,
Google.
let's ask Google. Google knows all. All right,
Oh gosh.
you can find a small island with a sad background, which never intended to be a tourist destination, which I still don't understand why it is. The island is known as Isla de las Muñecas, Island of the Dolls. It is dedicated to the lost soul of a poor girl who met her fate too soon in strange circumstances. The area has thousands of people, but this small island is home to hundreds of terrifying dolls. Their severed limbs, decapitated heads, and blank eyes adorn trees. Yes, and for those, I know you guys can't see, but you guys can at least see, that's basically what the island looks like. They go in and they literally strap or tie them to trees. There's a little hut on the island, all kinds of stuff. Dolls are threatening even in the bright light of midday, but in the dark they are particularly disturbing. So here is the legend. It is said that a girl was found drowned in mysterious circumstances many years ago on this island, and that the dolls are possessed by her spirit. Local legend says that the dolls move their heads and arms and even open their eyes. Some witnesses claimed they had heard the dolls whispering to each other, while others who were on a boat near the island said the dolls lured them to come down to the island. Of course, these witnesses are exaggerating, and the island is in no way possessed. But the truth is that is a creepy place that marks the casual visitor. Okay, but see now, mind you,
Visitor.
Okay,
Does anybody else have the Island of Misfit Toys song stuck in their head right now?
Right. I actually, what popped into my head is the Land of the Lost Toys from the graphic novel Fables. And that's just as bad. But, again, it's always fun to read articles, especially from people who are skeptics. Because they just are so dead set on it. It's like, have you ever been there? Okay. I don't think so.
I think so.
Xochimilco.
Xochimilco?
Yes. That's
okay.
Kind of Russian, but whatever.
So the X is got more of the Z.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is weird, because sometimes it could be a hua.
Yeah.
Or something else.
Yeah. So, well, I appreciate you looking that up. I appreciate you Googling that for me, because now I don't feel completely stupid, because it still sounds questionable. So according to him, the truth behind the legend, and this was an article... Let's see if I actually have somebody's name on here. Oh, of course not. He didn't put his name on it. Go figure. What a jerk. Don Julian Santana Barrera... Older gentleman. What are you laughing at, Mel?
All I can think, I'm like, how did they fit all that on the birth certificate?
Right. His picture is below. So again, this gentleman right here, and the one to the right is one I've actually seen before.
Yeah, in person.
Yeah, right.
Totally teasing.
He was the caretaker of the island. The story goes that Julian found a little girl drowned in mysterious circumstances while he was not able to save her life. Shortly thereafter, Julian saw a floating doll near the canals. Most probably the doll belonged to the girl. He picked up the doll, hung it to a tree as a way of showing respect and support and supporting the spirit of the girl. Others question even the existence of the drowned girl. Reports conclude that Julian has made up the story about the girl in his solitude. Again, questionable. Julian was apparently haunted by the spirit of the girl and started hanging more dolls in an attempt to please the spirit. He soon realized the dolls themselves were possessed by the spirits of the dead girl, and continued to collect creepy dolls, hanging them over the entire island. According to those close to him, it was as if Julian was driven by some unseen force that completely changed him. Apparently, he was very marked by the fact that he was not able to save the girl's life. After 50 years of collecting dolls and hanging them on the island, he was found dead, drowned in the same spot where the girl did. Many people on the island believe that Julian has joined the other spirits of the island. The locals are very faithful that the island of the dolls is a charmed place. Of course it's charming.
And quaint.
After his death in 2001, so it's fairly recent, it has become a tourist attraction, which is where visitors bring more dolls.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. The island has become very famous and has even been featured in many articles and even TV shows, two of which I've seen, which was Destination Truth and Ghost Adventures, which I've mentioned on here before, which I'll talk about those episodes for anybody who hasn't seen them. Let's see here. So that was that one. Let's see what else I got going on here. Oh, here are some even creepier pictures, so here we go.
And we'll post these pictures up.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, so...
Sounds just like a lovely vacation spot to me.
And it baffles me because it talks, like, this particular one also talks more about the fact that it's become like a tourist attraction. I'm like, why? Why would you go to this place? You know, and it's at the same time, too, it's like, okay, everybody's talking about, oh, you know, yeah, it's mostly the same stuff, but it still kills me because I'm like, okay, you see some of these dolls, and these dolls are straight up demonic.
Oh.
There's no nothing. So the episode on Destination Truth that I had seen for this, they went to the island, and they basically, the host, Josh Gates, took a doll, like, because it was part of the agreement for them to visit the island was that you take a doll, you take, I want to say it was 7 white candles and some sort of candy for the girl,
Really?
Typically hard candy.
So some
As an-
Jesus
as an-
candle
I
and
was
the
gonna say,
like watermelon chili suckers.
as an offering.
Suckers. Oh my god.
As an offering. So he brings it all there, and they're setting it up. And the thing is you got to remember, when you are doing this, if you've watched these shows before, when you're doing these sorts of investigations, if you want to get in there, you have to basically do what they're requesting.
Yeah.
So you have to
because you have to still be
Not to mention 'cause-
respectful.
Exactly. But even then, you find someplace that's seriously in bad shape, paranormal wise, and you don't show even the slightest bit of respect, you're hosed.
Yeah.
You're hosed.
Yep.
Okay. So they're setting it up, and they went over by, there's like a small dock, and I guess it was near that dock that the little girl died. So they're setting it up, and Josh made some smart-ass comment. I think it was about the doll being the nicest doll on there, or some shit. And out of nowhere, there's a splash in the water, like right behind him. And it was after he lit everything and they set everything up, like right as they finished it. And he hears a splash, and it's like, what the fuck? So then they continue their investigation. They look. There's no like fish or anything that they can find or see. So they go further as the night goes on. There's a few things they go to investigate the shack that they have in there, and that thing's also just strapped from top to bottom, stem to stern of dolls. And he's sitting there and he's looking at one, and they're taking like a bunch of their devices and everything, and he's starting to get a weird, I think it was the thermal imager, started getting a weird hit off of this one particular doll, that it was radiating not a ton but a little bit of heat, whereas everything else wasn't. So they were kind of looking at the doll, and he's sitting there and he's got like a walkie-talkie in his hand. He's taking the antenna, he's just kind of looking. He's not touching it. He's just kind of looking at the doll, like just checking it out. And he goes and he talks to his cameraman and the girl that's on his team that's with him. It's just the 3 of them. And he goes, I swear, if this doll opens its eyes, I'm gonna shit my pants. And just as he's bringing the antenna like up to the face, you see it on camera. The eye just boop opens right up. Just boom opens up, and it's only one of them, not both of them, just the one. And it's the one he's pointing at. Like you can see, he's clearly a couple inches away from it. He didn't accidentally hit it. They're not touching it. And you just see him, he's like, and I'm done. And he just starts, he's like, are you fucking kidding me? It just opened its fucking eye. Holy shit.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That was quite terrifying.
Right? So then as the night goes on, they decide they're going to do individual like EVP sessions in the shack by themselves. So each of them, they all draw straws to see who goes in what order. And of course, one of the females, she ends up drawing, I think, the shortest one. She goes first. She's like, God damn it. So she goes in, nothing. And then Josh ends up going in, and they're trying to talk. It's something. Nothing. And one of the cameramen goes in, or the audio guy goes in, and he does his turn. And it's funny because if you watch the whole episode, earlier on when they were in Mexico City, just before heading down there, they were going through like the marketplaces, and some random, like, I want to say she was like a nun or somebody.
Can't you see this lady's a nun?
Something came up, sprayed him with holy cologne, and blessed him. Yeah, blessed him and gave him like this holy stone or something, and told him it would protect him. Now, mind you, they show this like earlier. It's happened earlier in the episode before they go to the island. Well, he's the only one who apparently has anything going on in the shack, and it sounds like somebody's running like their nails or their fingers along the sides, the outsides, and then it sounds like something's like running or scratching along the roof to the point where he bolts. He just gets up and runs. Doesn't even slow. Just freaks out.
He was so done.
Exactly. And that was, I think that's where they pretty much called it for the night.
Yeah.
but it was a very uncomfortable episode, you know. And like I said, you laugh at some of the shit. And I won't lie, when I first was watching the episode the first time, because I've seen it a couple times, when he came up, he's like, "Yeah, I was blessed, this is that." I'm like, what the fuck? People just walk up to you and just Santa Maria, Santa. Like, what the fuck? Really?
It is Mexico.
It is. That's the thing. And I remember the few times I've been down there, you see shit like that. So
worried about your salvation and stuff.
So that was that episode. When Ghost Adventures went down there, they had a few other interesting things go down. First thing was they had, when they were on the island, because again, they took one of the, I can't remember what it was, but they look like they're almost like river taxis or canal taxis, like the boats that look super festive. Had one of those, dropped them off. Yeah, it does. It's like very colorful. I can't remember what they were called. Dropped them off, and then he kept yelling as they were leaving, because he kind of looked at the camera, he's like, they seem really eager just to just get us out of here and then just leave. Yeah. So they're bolting, and he's like yelling after him, like, "Hey, remember 6 o'clock? Come get us in the morning. Don't forget." And like I don't hear them responding to him. And he looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, I'm not so sure if they're gonna come back. It kind of concerns me." So they go back. So as night falls, probably an hour in, there's a little like a fire pit, and they have cameras. Like Ghost Adventure sets up cameras, like stationary cameras, at different places wherever they're at. So they had one that was watching this one end of the island. Well, apparently out of nowhere, a freaking bonfire just kind of started in this little fire pit that was on the island. Really? Yeah, just there. And like he even ran. Like the island you can walk the island from one end to the other in like 5, 6, 7 minutes. It's not that big an island. So he even radioed. He's like, "Hey, is somebody on the island that we don't know about? Is something, because and there's only 3 of them. I think it was when it was just the 3 of them at the time." They're like, "No, it's just us. There's nobody here." So that was the first thing. The second thing was, if I remember, I think Zach was hearing stuff out in the actual canal, like some splashing here and there. I can't remember for sure. Now, what's funny is Zach also has a huge fear of dolls.
Oh, really?
Clowns and dolls. He does not do well.
I don't like clowns either.
See? Earlier in the episode, he actually, and I remember the doll that he was able to get his hands on was Harold the doll, which you mentioned in one of those earlier.
Oh, really?
He'd gotten it. It's said to be one of the more haunted dolls. So he decides, and this was before he kind of learned his lesson about antagonizing spirits. He decided he was going to set it in the, "Sorry, Zach, I really like you, but there are times I was like, why are you trying to piss it off?" He set it in the shack to see if it would elicit any kind of response of any kind, anything. So they have a thermal camera on it, and they notice the area around it. I think it was the area around Harold was starting to like get hotter than everything around it, but the doll was not affected by whatever this heat is. So like they couldn't figure out where this heat was coming from, and it only sat like right around the doll. And then the worst of it, one of the dolls hanging on the wall starts giggling. Like straight up giggling. They found which one it was. They found which one it was coming from. And the first thing they do, because they try and debunk things, is they looked for the battery pack. There's no battery pack. They find it. Like Aaron, one of the other guys, wouldn't even touch it because he's like, "There's spiders in there. I'm not touching it." and they finally were able to pull the wiring out to look. No battery pack. No battery. No nothing. Now, some people are thinking, "Oh, well, the residual energy from a battery might have still been in the doll and in there." Okay, if you'd seen this doll, it clearly has been there for a very long time. Whatever residual energy is gone. It's gone. There's no battery power in this.
And at that moment, in that very moment, it just decides to giggle.
Exactly.
At that moment in time. Just when you're there.
Yeah.
No other time.
Yeah, exactly. It just decides, you know what? This is a great time to burn off some of that extra energy.
I've been saving this laugh for a long time.
Exactly. He probably saw them land on the island and just went, "Let the games begin."
Oh, gosh.
So, that island, if I ever could, I would actually like to visit that island, preferably at night, because I would like to experience this island. Just to be able to say I did it. Would I be comfortable 100%? Not really, but how could you turn down an offer like that? See, dolls are creepy and everything, but they don't creep me out to the level of like Lacey right now, who looks like she's about to have a meltdown.
You'll have to tie me up if you want me to go. Like, no.
And that's just it. It's like, I don't have that level of fear, but it's still creepy. It's still one of those things where I'm kind of like, I'll do it, but I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to make sure I got my holy water in my back pocket.
That's a good idea.
Whatever it takes.
Don't touch it. Might burn a hole in your hand.
Exactly. I'm going to wear gloves. I'm specifically going to wear gloves for that. And I'm going to have to, like, sprinkle it little bits just so it's... So, yeah, I would honestly, if somebody came up to me, like, and said, hey, all expenses paid, you want to spend a night with, like, you know, you guys want to go spend a night on the Island of the Dolls, I'd look at them and be like, yes, let's do this. Let's go. You know, but, yeah.
I'll bring some diapers because I'd likely pee my pants.
I agree, yes.
So, that's the end of my section, but I do know somebody has personal experiences I'd really like to hear.
Boy. So, I do have a personal experience. This happened a little while ago, probably about 7 years ago. I used to like pet sit for my neighbor across the street.
Okay.
And I drew a little diagram of their house. I'm creepy. So. But
You're thorough.
I have to have this because I was thinking back because it's been so long. And there's been quite a few things that happened there. So I wanted to kind of like have a layout.
Oh, absolutely. I do have to say, looking at this, I find it strange they have a bird room.
It's more like an office / bird room.
Okay.
So that's where they kept their birds. I took care of. They had like 3 cats, a couple birds. They had a pond outside with koi fish.
Okay.
Had to feed every day. And then they had like a big garden in the back.
Okay.
But yeah, this was like all of this kind of happened over the course of like a year and a half. So it didn't all hit at once.
Okay. Now, how old were you when this all started? Let me ask that.
It was 7 years ago. It was like right before I met Nick, or like when I met Nick, my husband, kind of like in that time period. So I was like 18.
Oh, whew, okay.
I was a baby, yes.
Still coming into the world.
Yes. But I mean, their house, they are very well off. Their house is really nice. It's not like
koi pond. They obviously well off.
Their house is beautiful. This isn't like a typical haunted house. Like, I didn't expect anything going into it, you know? So, but they'd go on a lot of trips, like, to different countries, and they bring back artifacts from different countries.
That's the first red flag.
So let me just explain the layout of this house so that, you know, our audience can kind of get a picture of it. So when you go in the front door, you have like a dining area, sitting room to the right, kitchen up to the right-hand corner, and then another living room on the other side of the wall. And then on the left-hand side of the house, you have like an office area, guest bathroom, and this is like a kind of a long hallway.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of the hallway, there's a little office / bird room. That's where they kept their birds that I would help take care of. And then once you get down to the end of the hallway, you have like a small little guest bedroom they never used. Like, and then they have the master bedroom kind of to the right.
Okay.
It's important to note the tile and the carpet in the house.
Okay.
Because the tile is like right, yeah. So there's tile when you first walk into the house, and then when you go down the hallway, it stops halfway, and then there's carpet in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of an important thing to note for later.
That's weird.
That is odd that it's like middle.
Because I'm going to get very specific because like some of this stuff is crazy. So my first time taking care of the house, they, you know, I forget where they were going. They have like a few artifacts, by the way. Like they have some masks on the wall from like different countries, like Africa and like Brazil and all that. Kind of like on the wall in the dining area to the right of the front door.
Okay.
And then in their bedroom, like, they have a little dresser on the far side of their bedroom. They have this doll. And it's not a porcelain doll. It's like a Raggedy Ann looking doll. It's not a Raggedy Ann.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same material.
Okay,
it's
so it's
flexible.
like, so it's a cloth. It's like a cloth doll.
Yes, it's a cloth doll. And it's sitting in this miniature rocking chair. It's about
What
this
the
big.
hell?
About this big.
God.
And you can take it out.
Yeah, that's
It's not
just...
stuck in there. Okay, you can take this thing out of the chair. And
Yeah.
I didn't touch it because I had my dad come in and save me because I'll get to that later.
I was surprised you didn't throw a blanket over it. Stay there.
And
I want to make it better, Troy.
Clearly, and you want to be able to keep an eye on it.
But yeah, it was on the far side of their master bedroom,
Okay.
on the dresser area. And so, this is my first time taking care of the house. They said, okay, here's a house key. Do not lose this house key because this is the only copy here in California.
Oh, wow.
Like, her brother lives in, like, I think Oregon or something. He has a copy, but
Well, that's
he's
helpful.
in Oregon.
Exactly.
So, you know, there's no way if I locked the key inside the house, I'd be screwed. So,
You'd be paying for a new window because you'd have to break one
exactly.
again.
So, I was very careful.
The new animals that died.
Yeah, no, their animals were great. Yeah, so first few weeks were fine. You know, I had no problems. I didn't think anything of it. You know, I didn't feel any weird vibes.
Now, were you staying there, like, overnight?
No,
or
I
just,
lived,
like, would come to, like, feed and water?
Yeah, they literally lived right across the street
okay,
from me.
cool.
So
Okay.
I just kind of go at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, feed the animals, and go back home.
Okay.
And so I'd go in. I think one of the first things that were kind of odd, one of the first things that kind of, like, I don't know, was interesting, I was in the kitchen. I think I was feeding the cats, and I hear, like, a door handle way over here on this side of the house, like jiggle.
Yeah.
Like, not just a little bit. It was like a really big, like, someone was trying to get out or get into the house. It freaked me out. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I'd be a little worried.
And I was thinking, you know, are the cats, like, playing or something? Did they hit the door, maybe? No, they were in the living room.
Oh.
I checked. There's, like, 3 of them, I think. But there was, like, a couple here and, like, one over here. It happened over here. Somewhere. I don't know what specific room. But it was odd. I didn't... Freaked me out, but I didn't really think too much of it. Other thing, like, after that, I kind of started taking people with me. Because I was like, I don't know.
Girl, if I'm going down, you're going down with me.
So I took my grandmother with me. I was like,
wow.
Grandma, please save me. And, but this, like I said, this happened over the course of, like, a year. I watched their house multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know specifically, like, what time it happened, but over the course of the, year and a half. But my grandmother and I went over to take care of the house. It was kind of dark out. It was, we were locking up. There's an alarm system on the wall, kind of across from the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was getting ready to set the alarm. And then we hear a tapping noise.
Okay, so your grandmother heard this as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I have eyewitness accounts.
or ear witness accounts?
Ear witness accounts. So I was getting ready to set the alarm and I hear this tapping noise in 3 tap intervals.
Okay.
And it sounded like it was coming from the kitchen, kind of like on the far side of the kitchen, and they would stop. And then it would do it again. And 3 taps, and it would get closer. And I was thinking, maybe it's the ice tray, maybe it's the fridge, kind of doing its thing.
Well, yeah, the brain naturally tries to find a logical reason for certain things like that. It's just natural.
Well, fridges make weird noises, to be
Yeah,
fair.
they do. That's what I mean. I'm not denying that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying the brain immediately goes to, well, there's this, it could be this, it could be that.
Right.
But you're right, they do make weird sounds. I don't know how many times I've looked at my fridge when, like, the ice maker makes a weird sound, or so, like, something I'm not used to. I'm like, what the hell?
Exactly. And then it just kept getting closer. and louder. And I looked at my grandmother, I was like, what is that? She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, let's get out of here. I'm not going to sit here and find out.
Why have you forsaken me, Lacey?
I know, and she is the type. She is not like, she doesn't believe in supernatural stuff, or, she's very skeptical.
Okay.
But it was odd. I couldn't really explain it, because I've heard the ice maker. Yeah. It doesn't do 3 taps.
No, that doesn't sound, it doesn't.
And it doesn't move around the kitchen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, so let me see. Here comes the doll part. So another time I took my brother. And Lucas he has...
God, Lucas is how much younger than you?
He's 7 years.
Good God, you took an 11-year-old in there?
Yeah, why not?
Well, he's tall, so I'm sure he was still kind of big, but...
Yeah, he's about up to my
shoulder.
Yeah, but
Lucas is such a quiet guy. I can't imagine him doing anything other than freaking out with you.
Nah, he's actually braver than I am.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, and
I will
Lucas,
admit that.
if you ever hear this, Lucas, I'm not saying that you're not brave, buddy. I'm not saying that. It's just, with you being as quiet as you are, that doesn't seem like a trait that would follow.
Oh, no, yeah, he's quite braver than I am, I will admit.
Okay.
But, so, Lucas and I went in, we were taking care of the cats, fed the fish, and we were going down the hall, and then we stop at the end of the hall, we look over to the right, towards the master bedroom, and you know how I said the doll was on the dresser on the far side of the bedroom?
In the rocking chair.
It was sitting, facing us, in the middle of the doorway.
Oh, no.
In the hallway. And we just looked at it, and we were like, what the fuck? And we were out of there. We didn't stay, like...
Sorry about it, birds yelling, get back.
Yeah, I was
so
like...
we just throw a handful of birdseed in the room and hope they get some of it.
But it was strange.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I'll be
that
honest.
thing can come out of the chair. There's no way the cats would have been able to get up on that dresser, move it over to the doorway without it coming out of the chair.
They got a cat that...
Really?
He opens drawers.
They'll get anywhere. But
yeah, but here's the tough... I could see moving it, but having it specifically sitting in the middle of the doorway, facing out, sitting, mind you. Now, if it was just laying there, that
like Toy Story?
More, yeah, just like
Andy's
if it was totally an Andy's coming moment, I would totally, you would look at it and go, maybe one of the cats got dragged it off and laid there. But if it's sitting there just like...
chilling, waiting for you.
What's up, y'all? Not gonna feed me? I eat soul. Just get a little closer.
There's
like,
just...
So I'd be golden then.
You'd be fine.
The cats help me here.
Exactly.
Help me down.
So, I mean, I couldn't think of any way it could possibly get to that point without it coming out of the chair.
Yeah.
And I was the only one with the key. I don't think her brother would come all the way down from Oregon just to move this damn doll.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if he did, that man is so dedicated to the joke that I have to commend him for that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good job, sir. You, sir. Pulitzer Prize. You.
Yeah. So, that was crazy. I still had to take care of the house.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way I would... I just have to take more people with me.
I would have totally, I'd have totally pulled an Ace Ventura and laces out that fucking thing. Just laces out and just boom, out the door. I don't care how much of an artifact, I don't care where you got it. When they roll back in, I'd have flicked the key at it and been like, you know what? Fuck you and your doll.
Yeah.
That thing tried to kill me. I refuse. Pay me my money now. Next time, if you're well off, this is good money, but next time I want half of it up front because I need to get my funeral arrangements squared away.
Exactly.
They're all, please, tried to kill you. That doll doesn't leave the room.
That's when you're like, no shit, it sat there eyeballing me from the doorway.
And I've never liked dolls. Not even that wasn't the reason why I didn't like dolls. I just never liked dolls.
So growing up, you never really had any? Really?
I had stuffed animals. I didn't have dolls.
But that's just it. That's
dolls.
different. Yeah, dolls and stuffed animals are different. It's a little different.
But it was kind of sad because when I was 4, my grandmother got me a life-size doll for Christmas.
Oh.
And I opened it. I took one look at it, and I was like. And I opened the next gift. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I wish.
At least you would take it and just throw it over your shoulder. Oh, thanks.
I mean, I wish if she was still here, I'd be like, I'm sorry.
I'm sure she knows how sorry you are now.
But yeah. So that wasn't the breaking point, though.
Oh.
But wait,
that was the doll part, but. There was one more part of the story, and that was where I just stopped. This was where I just stopped watching the house altogether. So
I'm assuming you waited for him to come back before you decided this, or did you just stop going over to the house?
No, I had to take care of the animals. I mean, I wasn't gonna stop taking care of the animals.
That's what I mean.
But around this time, I started talking to a friend of mine, and we would hang out together. She started telling me, and I'm kind of skeptical of mediums and such. I didn't tell her about everything that was going on there because I wanted to know what she thought first because I was going to take her with me.
Okay.
Because this is odd. I want to know what's going on.
So you basically asked her to go with you without telling her what happened.
Or why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, actually there's one more thing before I get to that part, and this will kind of add up with the last story. I took my other friend with me, and we were out feeding the fish. And she knew that I was scared of the place. She didn't say anything. Once we got out, she was like, Lacey, there's something I need to tell you. I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I saw a tall shadow in the kitchen. Because over here in the pond, the kitchen is right next to the pond. The window. And she said she saw a very tall, slim shadow in the kitchen. And I was like, thanks for not telling me while we were there. I would have ran. So, yeah. And then the part with my other friend who's a medium, I brought her over. This is the last time. So I brought her over, and she started walking around the house, kind of looking at some of the artifacts. And she stopped kind of around the masks, I guess. She said that she felt some sort of energy in the masks, and I was like, okay.
Which doesn't surprise me because a lot of that stuff, the masks hold an actual significance.
Right. And then we made our way over to the bird room. We were in the bird room. We kind of went all over the house, and she started asking it questions.
Oh, why would you do that?
And I was like, I don't like talking.
I could see it. I could see your friend. What's your name? And then Lacey in the background. Shut up.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Don't
shut up.
But she was asking it. Why are you here? Why are you doing these things?
Bitch who lives here stole my fucking doll.
Exactly. But so there's a little guest bathroom in the hallway, and then remember I said the tile and the carpet kind of stop at the middle of the hallway. So when she started asking these questions, the house, or at least the room we were in, the area we were in, started vibrating. This wasn't like an earthquake. It was I guess if you imagine a helicopter or something flying over, kind of that, but there was no helicopter. You'd hear it. The house, the floor was vibrating, and the light in the bathroom was flickering. And this went on for just a few seconds, and then it all stopped. And then we hear heavy bootsteps coming from the front door all the way to where the carpet ended. And we were in the bird room, which is at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
Yo, we're taking the window out.
And I was like, we need to get out of here. And I grab her, and I'm literally dragging her out. And she stops right at the front door, and she's like, he's right behind me. I'm like, he's right behind. who's he? Like, right behind him, like, we need to go. And I just, like, drug her out, and we shut the door. And I'm, like, shaking. Because this was dramatic for me.
I've noticed the entire time.
And, so afterwards, she said that when she was in there, she sensed a presence of a very tall, slender man with green skin. I don't know where this green skin part came in, but that's creepy. Because it adds up with my other friend's story who said
a tall shadow.
She saw a tall shadow in the kitchen. So I'm skeptical of mediums.
Yeah.
But that stuff added up.
Yeah.
And it was odd. But that was the last time I ever went to that house.
Did they try and ask you to do it before or after that?
No.
They did. Did you tell them what happened?
You're like,
I tried.
You tried?
I tried, but they're very Christian people. And
God.
they kind of gave me an odd look wherein I was like, have you guys experienced anything strange in your house? And I don't know what you're talking about. I think they know what I'm talking about.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were actually. You know what? I'll bet you $20. I'll bet you $20 they weren't Christian. Because then when you walked in, every cross they had hanging, they probably flipped upside down. Like, that's better.
It would make a lot of sense, right? But yeah, they tried to get me to watch the house again, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm really busy with school, and I can't, I'm going to be out of town.
I think I'm going to have my period that week, or like, I lost my hair, anything.
I think I'd like to live a little bit longer, so,
I really don't want to be possessed, because that's not nice. So, but yeah, that was my experience.
Fuck that. Granted, I'd probably be the dumbass who'd be like trying to follow the little clicks and shit like that, but that doesn't surprise me. Like I said, there's, with the masks, that doesn't surprise me, and just like I said, artifacts, but bringing stuff from anywhere, and that's always the crazy part, especially if you believe even a little bit in this stuff.
Yeah.
Everything has some sort of history to it. If you're taking it, there's always a chance that history's gonna follow it wherever it goes.
Exactly.
So, and I'm with you on the mediums thing. You got to be really careful because a lot of times it's just simply picking up on mannerisms. Like ironically enough, I happened to see the South Park episode about with John Edwards, where Stan figures out how it works, and he just goes on stage and he just starts doing what John use all that shit. And everybody starts thinking he's psychic now. He's and he's sitting there, he's rubbing his head. He's like, no, I'm tricking you guys. I'm messing with you. See, watch. I'm just gonna start running off names, and somebody will probably spout their mouth. And he's like, Peter. And some woman's like, oh, Peter, I know. He's like, I clearly see that she is upset, so I'm guaranteeing that this is her husband. Ma'am, is Peter your husband? Oh my God, yes. Oh. And he's like, see? And nobody's getting it. Nobody's picking up on the fact that he's explaining this to them. And he's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But, so you got to be careful with that stuff.
And,
but
that's why I was I didn't tell her a whole lot about the situation. Because I wanted to see what she would say.
Yeah.
If anything would kind of relate. And there's that, my friend's story and her story kind of matched up because it's this tall thing in the house. Yeah. They both said there's this tall being. Tall, slim being.
It's interesting that green skin came up.
No, that sounds kind of demonic, but I don't know.
Alien.
All I can think of is
Fuck you, Justin.
all I can think of is the green guy from Nightmare Before Christmas, the one with the gills and everything.
The girl? The mermaid?
No.
What is that? I think I know what you're talking about.
The frog-looking guy?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, the one part of the quartet.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what
or
you're
maybe
talking about.
like Payne was saying, maybe it's just a guy who died, a really big guy who died in a green morph suit.
That or
That's probably the best theory right there.
Or you might be able to lend a little more credence to this. Is green a color a decomposed body can get to?
I don't know.
I think so.
I honestly don't know.
think so?
Well, I think the rotted, probably.
Because that's a possibility too.
That's true.
But that's creepy as shit. That's not comfortable. So
exactly.
I'm glad you made it alive.
I'm glad too.
hopefully you don't have to go through something like that again. So
I probably will.
yeah, well, we're
Eventually.
still pretty young. Anything could happen. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us, Lacey.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate that.
Anytime.
So maybe Disney Mel here can actually
cheer us up,
hopefully
please.
cheer us up a little bit.
Yes, cheer us up with some.
Some haunted Disney.
With some
facts.
haunted Disney. Well,
Haunted
see,
Disney.
you could say the worst thing in the world. If you've got Disney attached to it, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
You can sit there and go, front row seat to the Holocaust. Oh, with Disney. Oh.
Oh, nice.
But it's the fact.
Yeah.
It's the fact it's so innocent.
Yeah.
It makes it that much more disturbing.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know?
Especially tonight.
Yeah. Quick side note with Disney. Is it me or did anybody else growing up think the D was a G?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I kept seeing that and I'm like, who's Disney?
I've
Disney.
actually seen memes that it was like, who else thought that it always said Walt Jensup? Because even the Y kind of looks like a P.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still have to like mentally flip that like
Yeah.
around in my brain to like, okay, that's a Dino. Okay.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay,
So what do you got
so-
for us, Mel?
Anybody want to take any guesses as to what attraction I'm going to be speaking on tonight?
It's.
Thank you.
Oh no! I
I
didn't
can
even.
read your
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Troy.
I was getting there, but for
Yeah.
some reason I went Haunted Mansion first. I was like, no, she's already done Haunted
Yeah.
Mansion. The only other thing, and all of a sudden, Small World. I'm like, oh god, yeah.
A
Ah.
ride literally filled with hundreds of tiny dolls. Yeah,
That's horrific.
that'd be the one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of more of an urban legend than anything. Has all actual death accounts
Uh huh.
have been reported. They have to legally be reported,
Yes.
and I'm fairly certain I know all of which have happened on site.
As we have pointed out, anything Disney, you go to Mel.
But this one kind of started in around 99, that the ride all of a sudden stopped. All of the lights turned on. The music stopped.
So this is like mid-actual ride.
Middle
so
of
you've got
the
people
afternoon,
in-
mid-ride.
Okay.
Boats stop moving. All the lights turn on. Everything
One boat
stops
or the
singing.
whole tram
The
thing?
entire ride.
Okay.
The entire attraction. Cast members come, escort all the guests off
Yeah.
the ride. And very quickly done. Nobody's saying anything as far as like, oh,
Why?
it's not working or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just, no, you need to leave and you need to leave now. So,
Well, that's already that. Okay, for Disney, that's already questionable. Anybody who knows Disney knows that's questionable to begin with. Like,
Right.
oh wow, you guys are really trying to get us out of here. What's going on?
right. So,
I'm not very happy right now. What's going on?
Yeah. So this being the late 90s, the
Oh geez, this is late. This is recent.
Yeah.
That recent?
yeah.
Oh god.
Oh my
Yeah.
childhood.
Oh boy.
So this being
Well,
the
I
late
never liked this ride to begin with, so it's not.
back when we took pictures with film and had to go get things
Oh,
developed.
yes.
So a family gets their pictures developed who happened to be on that ride when that happened, and the mom had snapped a few on their way out. And in the last photo developed, sees a body hanging from the ceiling.
Okay. Like, are we
So-
talking child body, adult body?
And from what it sounds like, it was a child-sized body.
Okay.
I find it highly unlikely
Okay. Now.
that a child has managed to get to that point in this attraction and managed to hang themselves.
Okay, so that it was an actual hanging, not like the body is just hanging there like by the wrist or the ankle. It was an actual hanging.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go back to something just said earlier. It was a little person.
No!
And they probably just kept swapping out costumes along the ride until they got where they wanted. Until they got where they wanted, and they took care of what needed to be done.
So
Sorry, that's all I picture. Because I agree, a child,
highly
Highly
unlikely.
I mean, because here's the thing, like, I could see it possibly being a child if, let's say, they wandered in, because there's always that window where, like you said, a cast member may not have been looking, they could have snuck by, but like to legitimately hang themselves, like, and they said it looked like an actual hanging, not like they accidentally fell into a bunch of wiring and it just happened to wrap around his neck.
Kids hang themselves all the time.
Exactly.
It's like, not to like, hate to get it all sad and whatnot, but yeah, no, really, like legitimately hang themselves all the time. So.
Well, I mean, if you really look at a lot of like the media or even just movies and television today, that's one of the main ways you see people depicted as killing themselves. If it's not with a gun, they're hanging themselves because if they don't have access to a gun, everybody's got access to rope or wire or cable.
This is true. Anyway, fast forward to more recent times. Because I've been on this ride a million more times than I can count.
Well, yeah,
I particularly like to look for something I've missed, something I've never seen before. Well, I've noticed in one of the last rooms is a doll hanging from the fucking ceiling.
Bullshit.
No, swear to God.
Really?
Swear to you.
Okay.
It's in one of the last, and it looks like one of the dolls. It does not look like a real child.
Okay.
And it's not like, oh, is it like one of the dolls that's, like supposed to be like flying or like hanging from, no. It's legit just like hanging from the rafters.
Okay, look.
By its neck?
It's kind of hard to see because it's high up, but it's not next to anything else. Like, it's just by himself, just hanging there. No rhyme or reason to it at all.
Okay, no. I'm giving you an assignment right now.
Oh, right
as
now.
often as you guys go to Disney, you are to get on that ride. I want some form of picture snapped of this.
Oh, done.
Hey, we're going next week.
Done.
Okay.
Really?
I want you to like zoom. I don't care how many times you got to zoom in. Just whoop, 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 whoop. Enhance. All the way up, and I want to see this damn thing.
Okay, done.
Okay.
Because I noticed that and I was like...
That is
Because
out of
I've
control.
read this story before about like the kid that committed suicide, but like I said, I could never find any actual like evidence as far as like documentation for this.
Well, and that would be something more that you would find with like the city.
And then to see that doll still hanging up there, and I'm like, I wonder if this likely could be what this woman snapped a picture of.
Maybe.
Why is it still there, and why
wouldn't you take it down?
Yeah, like
now seeing that.
Why
right
was it put there in the first place, and why?
This is just the angle from.
No, no.
See,
when you see it, you're gonna be like.
It's interesting because this.
I'm usually asleep during this ride.
Yeah.
So this is my nap ride.
This sounds almost similar to the whole hanging on the Wizard of Oz, which
yes.
I'll tell you right now, I have not seen. I know where they keep saying it takes place, but I never see it.
The new versions it's not in. You have to get a hold of one of the old copies.
Yeah. But the thing is, I gotta look, because I think my grandmother has an old copy. So I gotta see if she does, because if she does, I want to see this, because everybody keeps talking about it, and I'm like, I don't see what you're talking about. I know I wear glasses, I know my eyesight sucks, but god damn it. I'm like, right here's a TV screen.
Actually, it's been debunked.
Has it?
It has.
It's
because
not
in
true.
the black and white version, you see in the background of the trees like this little shadow of something swinging.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when they produced the colored version, it's actually a crane. And its neck, and it's got like little like I don't know. It looks like it was, but it was actually like a crane in the back.
Because what was the theory that it was the director or the producer's like son or something like that, right?
Yeah, and some people
yeah.
actually said it was one of the dwarf people hanging themselves, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I think I've read that it was like
hanging himself. He was attempting to
son.
lengthen himself.
Yes.
I'm totally going to hell. I accept this.
But another fun little Small World tidbit for, like, I don't know, any other Disney nerds. Mm-hmm. So Mary Blair was the creator of all of, like, the very particular art that is done in Small World. Like, it is a very particular animation and art style and all that. Mm. On top of the Eiffel Tower in the Small World is a little doll, and it is her doll. Yeah,
looks
like
her?
made. Yeah, it was made for her. Like,
I want a picture of this too. That's the bonus question for this. I want a picture of that.
Yeah, but I'm like, I wonder how many people like just think it's just a random little girl on top of the Eiffel Tower, but that's actually Mary Blair who designed this ride. And do you guys know what that ride was originally designed for? It was not Disneyland. No. The World's
seen
Fair.
Tomorrowland.
Really?
The World's Fair. The ride was designed for the World's Fair.
That
Walt
makes
did
sense.
3 attractions that year for the World's Fair, and that was one of them. When he finally did bring that ride over to Disneyland, he had children from all of the countries represented in the attraction bring water from their country, and they all, like, in, like, a big ceremony dumped, like, their water into, like, the ride.
Cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Obviously,
That is
it's well filtered out
So
now.
I'm sure,
but
but
a
I'm sure
cool
they,
little
I'm sure
tidbit.
they've removed the ISIS child. at
Yeah.
this
Oh
point.
my god.
Yes.
Jeez.
So it's
Yes,
like
I'm an asshole. This is not a surprise.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's your small world fun facts for.
Well, thank you for
today.
making that ride even less appealing to me,
Oh my
which I didn't think
gosh.
would be possible.
You're
Because I
welcome.
disagree with that ride. The world is not small. It's a very big place. So, I hope you enjoyed the episode tonight, or today. And we have a little bit of more information. Justin, would you like to share what our plan is? Our future plans are?
So, we plan on going live from here on out with our episodes on YouTube. So you
Should
get
be
to
interesting.
put a
I'll
face
clean
to
up.
our
I'll clean
voices.
myself up a little bit, maybe
Yeah.
trim up a little bit.
I love the beard. You gotta leave it.
Oh, I'll keep the beard, but I may need to trim it down just a little bit.
Mr. Scruff.
Yeah.
And then we still are trying to find a location to maybe.
Yes. Unfortunately, it does take. Being that we're not some big production company of any kind or rich beyond our wildest dreams.
Without
it's,
trespassing.
Or at all.
Yeah, we're considered trespassers, not celebrities. So it's a little harder because if we want to find a legitimate location, someplace that's known, not just some place that the dude on the corner told us about, we're going to need to get prior authorization, and we're going to have to get okays to go to locations, things like that. But that is in the making. We do have plans for that, so just stay tuned for that. I would like to thank our guests, Lacey and Mel. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I had a great
Absolutely.
time.
One more
I
time.
live here, so-
You want to just say your channel?
Yes, just your
Oh.
channel.
Oh yes. So if you guys like, come over to my channel, Lendermations, and I'll actually also give you guys a shout out as well because I'm coming up on 100 subscribers, and I have a
Nice.
special
Very
creepy special for my subscribers. So I'll give you guys a shout out as
Heck yeah.
well.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
thank you.
Sweet.
So
Appreciate it.
So just to make sure, that's Lendermations. That's LENDER.
MATIONS.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay. So make sure you check that out. And again, thank you for joining in. I am Troy.
I'm Justin.
I'm Lacey.
And Mel.
Thanks for having us, and have a good night.